In every shadow, a story waits to be told. Welcome to Dark Eerie Chronicles, where your nightmares become our stories. This is a personal experience of an Egyptian trekker who chooses to remain anonymous and is being narrated by Dark Eerie Chronicles. I don't usually talk about this, not because I'm scared, but because most people, when I've tried, just give me that half smile, like they're waiting for the punchline. But there's no punchline. This happened, and once you hear it, you can believe it or not, your choice. It was 2017. I was on a long solo backpacking trip through the northern regions of Pakistan. I'd been on the road for about 3 weeks already. Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, and then up north through the Karakoram Highway. I'd read about Hunza in a travel forum, a remote valley, snow-capped peaks, glacial lakes, ancient forts, apricot orchards. I'd seen pictures, but nothing prepared me for how it actually felt being there. I arrived in Karimabad around mid-September. It was the sweet spot. Tourist season was winding down, but the weather hadn't turned bitter yet. The people were warm, the food was unforgettable, and the air, man, the air felt like it hadn't been touched by the rest of the world. Every morning, I'd wake up to this postcard view of Ultarsar right outside my window, golden light washing over its ridges like something sacred. In those first few days, I hiked to Baltit Fort, chatted with kids in Altit village, and shared chai with locals who welcomed me like I was a long-lost cousin. It was the kind of place that makes you want to stay longer than planned. One evening, at a tiny guest house run by a retired schoolteacher named Javed Sahab, a group of us were sitting by the fire. It was getting cold, typical mountain autumn. Javed was telling us about local folklore, half laughing, half serious, and he mentioned something called the Whispering Path. He said it like a joke at first. Foreigners go on that trail. They come back different. Some don't come back at all. We all chuckled, but I noticed he wasn't laughing. There's a trail, he said, off the main road beyond Ganesh, past the dried stream bed. Locals call it Shabkali Rasta, the night path. It's steep, rocky. People used it generations ago to reach an abandoned village on the cliffs. But no one lives there anymore. No one goes there, not after what happened in the 60s. Someone asked, "What happened in the 60s?" Javed shrugged. There was a family, isolated. Something changed them. People say they started hearing things, chanting at night, speaking in tongues. One day, a shepherd found the whole household dead, except the eldest daughter. She was standing barefoot in the snow, eyes rolled back, murmuring. When they tried to bring her down, she bit one of the men, disappeared 2 days later. Some say she still walks the trail at dawn, looking for someone to follow her back. We all laughed it off, classic ghost story stuff. But something about it stuck with me. The next morning, over breakfast, I casually asked him where exactly this trail was. He just shook his head and said, "Forget it, it's not for walking." But I couldn't. That name, Whispering Path, it buzzed in my head like an itch I couldn't reach. Maybe it was the adrenaline junkie in me, or maybe I was just stupid. But I decided I was going to check it out. I set my alarm for 4:15 a.m. I packed light, just a flask of water, a headlamp, a protein bar, my phone. The plan was to reach the ridge by sunrise, snap a few pictures, and head back before the guest house even served breakfast. The moon was out, just enough light to see without using my headlamp constantly. The valley was dead quiet, save for the occasional bark of a dog in the distance or a sleepy rooster confused by the hour. I reached the stream bed Javed mentioned. It had long dried out, cracked like old leather. From there, I spotted a barely visible trail winding up the slope, half covered in dust and small rocks. I should have turned back when I saw the first marker. It was a cairn, just a small stack of stones, but something about it felt off. Like it wasn't placed there by a hiker, but by someone who didn't want to be followed. I kept going. The path got narrower, more uneven. At times I had to use both hands to climb. As I ascended, the air got colder. Not normal pre-dawn chill, this was sharp, like I'd walked into a freezer. And that's when I first heard it. A whisper. I froze. It was faint, but distinct. A woman's voice, calling something out in a language I didn't understand. Not echoing, more like it was right behind me, breathing the words into the back of my neck. I spun around. No one. Just the shadow of the cliff. I told myself it was wind. But there was no wind. I kept climbing. At the 2-hour mark, I saw the remains of a stone structure, probably that old abandoned house Javid mentioned. Walls collapsed, roof gone, and a strange black scorch mark on one side. I took a photo, but the screen glitched. Everything turned purple and static for a second. Then it was fine. As I stepped closer, I saw something half buried in the rubble. A sandal. Not an old one either. A modern, rubber-strapped girl's sandal. Fresh, clean, but there was no one else around. No footprints. No sign of life. I started feeling nauseous. My gut told me to go back. Then I heard the whisper again, louder now, almost a chant. My ears started ringing. I turned to run! And there she was, a girl, maybe early 20s, long black hair, soaking wet though there was no water anywhere. Her eyes were pure white, not rolled back, just white. No pupils. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then, snap! She just vanished. I stumbled down the trail, slipping, nearly twisting my ankle. I kept hearing her behind me. Whispers, breathing, laughter. But every time I turned, nothing. I didn't stop until I reached the edge of the dry stream bed again. The moment my foot touched the rocks, everything stopped. No whispers, no chill, just dawn breaking behind the mountains. When I returned to the guest house, Javid saw me and went pale. He didn't ask anything, just handed me a cup of chai and told me quietly, "You shouldn't have gone there." I left Hunza 2 days later. I still have that photo of the house, but I never open it. And if I listen closely, sometimes I still hear it, that whisper. And here's the thing. 2 years later, I came across a Reddit thread about haunted hikes in South Asia. Someone posted a comment. Avoid the trail near the dry stream past Ganesh in Hunza. My sister disappeared there in 2017. All we found was one sandal. Same year, same spot. I don't have an explanation. All I have is this story. Do what you want with it. But if you're ever in Hunza and you feel the urge to take a morning trek before sunrise, don't follow the whispers. You've been listening to Dark Eerie Chronicles. I'll see you in the next nightmare. Until then, keep your lights on.